Hey there, everybody. I am here to explain my wireless headphones that I've been using for the past year and a half or so. These are the Sennheiser HD 4.5 BTNC wireless active noise canceling headphones. They've been around for a bit now, obviously, since I've used them for about as long as I have. We're coming up to the end of the warranty period for these guys. They came with a 2-year warranty by default from the factory. And I'm already getting to the point where I kind of want to get rid of these, and I'll tell you why in a second. There were some issues with comfort that I had, and I've seen some of this out there in the community as well, some similar comments that I may have experienced. But I grabbed these on sale about a year and a half ago for $189. I believe they were originally priced at around $200, which was a pretty amazing thing back then for a set of Bluetooth headphones that had both aptX technology, pretty good noise canceling, and the full functionality that the premium sets of headphones out there were doing at $350 and sometimes upwards of $400, depending on who you went with and the kinds of features you were looking for. But now these guys can be had for a lot cheaper. As of the date of this video, you can get them on Amazon for about $150. If you don't have the issues I have, I would highly suggest buying these. So outside of the comfort, obviously, these guys are pretty great. I would say that the sound quality is excellent, especially for the price point. So right off the bat, I'm actually just going to start here with aesthetics. As you can tell, they've held up rather well durability-wise over this long period of time, or decently long period of time for a pair of headphones like this. Just a light scuff mark there, maybe from me dropping it once or twice. I don't feel like I recollected dropping these, like I said, more than once or twice. So other than that, they've held up fairly well. The ear pads, I have a pretty sweaty head, and these ear cuffs have actually held up really well. I've even pulled one off to just inspect whether or not there was any like buildup on the inside, and I didn't have anything there. So you can see the shortcut buttons here. They've worked out pretty well for me. Although they aren't marked, there's some texturing. There's like a little dot here that'll let you know that that's volume up. Other than that, I've actually done pretty well with using most of the functions. So when it comes to headphones, I'm a pretty heavy user. I wear a set of noise canceling headphones on my commute in both directions during the work week, and I work in the city 4 days a week at the very minimum. So I am doing these about 4 hours every day, so 2 hours in both directions. So that adds up to about 16 to 20 hours of use per week, and then plus the occasional usage at home. So you could say I've been using these pretty often, and that's consistent across the 1.5 years that I've used them. The sound quality, as far as I'm concerned, is fantastic. I came from a set of Bose AE2 headphones. Those were just a standard wired pair. They were extremely comfortable, and they sounded pretty great, but I'd say that these are the same, if not better, in the balance department. Boses typically, for me, tend to sound to have slightly boosted bass, and then the mids can be a little bit washed out. But these guys, I feel like, are pretty balanced in all frequency ranges. But again, I'm not a super duper audiophile. I just like my music, and from what I can tell, these sound great, especially for my first Bluetooth set. These guys come with aptX, and it was compatible both with my current smartphone, a OnePlus 6T, and my prior smartphone, a ZTE Axon 7. They both connected and activated aptX without any additional configuration, and they sounded fantastic, especially when I was playing the lossless FLAC files I have in storage. I believe that these headphones come with a variant of Bluetooth 4.2, I believe. But for what I can tell, latency is pretty much negligible, especially over longer periods, and when viewing video. I would typically sometimes stream YouTube over my smartphone and then to the Bluetooth headphones, and I could barely notice a difference, maybe even less than a fraction of a second, and it wasn't bothering me during long viewing sessions. And the noise canceling technology on these guys, in my opinion, is pretty great. Granted, these are my first pair of noise canceling headphones. Comparing the other noise canceling headphones that they had in stores and these guys, honestly, I couldn't tell too much of a difference. Some people tend to experience a cabin type of feel whenever they're wearing noise canceling headphones for long periods of time, but I did not have that issue with these. Not only that, but the noise canceling when active didn't have any kind of hissing noises or anything that really bothered me. It eliminated the lower bass frequencies on the train that I was taking to and from work. And I used to have headaches before I wore this pair of headphones, and actually it remedied it for a good while until the comfort issues started coming up. Then I started having a different kind of headache. Battery life was great. I would typically only charge these headphones starting out in the beginning once every couple of weeks or so. And the battery life honestly hasn't diminished that much over the lifetime that I've had these guys for. I'm now only charging them maybe once every 1.5 weeks or so. So as far as the degradation is concerned, there's really not much of a problem. I don't believe the battery in this set of headphones is replaceable at all either. So good on them for putting a solid battery in this set. I did like having NFC to be able to pair with my smartphone. It was really convenient instead of having to use the Bluetooth menus. Being able to just tap the smartphone to the side of the headphone was very helpful and super easy. The other thing that works great with these that I don't think even Bose does at this point is a capturable wired unit. So you can see here that this is like a standard 2.5 inch port. You can't actually see the connector there, but when you run your wired set in there, you can connect the cable, push in and then turn 90 degrees, and that will actually capture the cable so that if you were to pull on it during a physical activity or something similar, the cable won't tug out, which has been super helpful for me. I've actually used that feature without my own volition multiple times. There is no known Google Assistant or Siri integration with these headphones, which was something I kind of wanted, but I knew that I wasn't going to get at the time at that price point. So it's not necessarily a knock on these headphones, but if you're looking for something like that, you're not going to get it here. And now I'm going to address my main con and the reason why I will probably be swapping headphones within the next year or so, and that's the comfort. It started out as okay. My Bose AE2s were almost always pretty comfortable, and just about over the past year or so, they're starting to get uncomfortable and around the headband area. The ear cuffs still are fantastically comfortable, and the headset's so light I barely feel it whenever I'm wearing it. But these guys, they have an issue when it comes to size. Now, the common complaint is if you have a large head, these guys tend to not be very comfortable. And honestly, I'm kind of in the same place as a lot of the other people that are reviewing this pair of headphones. So this is them in their smallest size. Obviously that's pretty small. I've actually put them on my 2-year-old daughter and they almost fit. So that's kind of helpful. But then once you put these guys all the way out, they tend to be, they're actually like not too bad as far as the reach. And they do fit around my head like this without a problem. I was actually able to use them about like 10 clicks out, not all the way out. And I was able to fit them on my head just fine in the beginning. But the real issue is that this headband, I don't know whether you're going to be able to see this. I'm going to do my best to try to show you. But right around here, you can see there's a crease line right about here. It divides and then starts exposing the plastic of the headband. So this headband is just rubber. So within the first, I'd say after about a year, the headband itself wore down to the point where I can actually feel the ribs of the headband underneath this. So this hard plastic right here, you can actually feel underneath this headband. So whenever I would put it on my head, especially in the morning, whenever I'm tired and stuff, this headband would kind of push up against my head and it would be pretty uncomfortable. It was fine after the first year, but it started getting worse at that point, and now I can't wear them for longer than an hour without feeling discomfort, and within about half an hour I'm kind of having to like pivot them. So I'll initially wear them like this, and then I'll just have to like pivot them forward or backward or something like that just to be able to maintain comfort, which is really unfortunate because honestly everything else about these headphones, especially for the price point, is nothing short of fantastic. So I went and looked online as well to see if there were any replacements for this headband, and I couldn't find anything. So honestly, the only option I would really have would be to get something that could attach to the headband, but that's then going to collide with the size issue that I have. So I now am wearing these with the headband all the way stretched out, just so that I can try to relieve some of the pressure of the headband on my head. But even then, still after about 45 minutes or so, I'm having to adjust the pitch and yaw of the headphones just to keep them remotely comfortable. And I know that some people were having issues with the small ear cups. I'm just about at the point where they barely fit. I didn't really have that issue initially. I did understand what people are saying. I think I have relatively normal sized ears, and they fit over my ears, but they're definitely a little bit tight. I didn't have any issues with my ears getting warm from wearing these for a long period of time. But I think combined with the headband discomfort, it's kind of helped. Like, it hasn't really helped, because if I have to adjust the degree at which I'm wearing the headphones, these ear cups are pretty strictly oval shaped. So whenever they move, you're kind of like putting them over certain sections of your ear, and that can get uncomfortable. So I would still blame the headband mostly for that, but I could see that if you had really large ears, that these ear cups wouldn't be the perfect size for you, and you'd be kind of wearing them as sort of over ear headphones. And honestly, it doesn't work too well with this set, because if you put them over your ears like that, whether it's like towards the front or towards the back, the sound quality does suffer from that. And then the noise canceling doesn't work as well either. So it's just not really worth going through that trouble. And all in all, with this pair of headphones, my overall opinion is, besides the comfort, everything else was great, which really keeps me attached to the brand of Sennheiser. I've worn a couple of other headphones from them long term. Granted, they were all wired sets without noise canceling, but it's always the sound experience that keeps me coming back to them over the competitors. And I may have a difficult time whenever I go and compare to go buy a new set of noise canceling headphones, whether or not I'm going to try to stick with Sennheiser or not. Currently out there's some revised pairs of headphones from Bose that are more recent than what Sennheiser has put out in the premium category, but it's going to be hard for me to resist. I definitely, after my experience with these, I should have spent a little bit more money and just gone with a premium set, since I'm just going to be wearing them super often for a long period of time. So honestly, I would just consider your head size when purchasing anything like this, especially if you're trying to save some money but still get good noise canceling. I don't see too many competitors nowadays in the name brand segment that was trying to aim for this price point. So I would say it was probably a good experiment to see whether or not people were going to purchase these. I don't know how well these guys sold, but if anyone competing ends up putting something out in this price bracket that has features like this, I would definitely suggest trying it out, but just make sure that you're able to test these guys out in a store and see whether or not they fit your head and ears like you'd want them to. That's the biggest concern and the biggest thing I would say to look out for if you're trying to get a budget-friendly set of noise-canceling headphones. But with that, that's basically the end of this video and the end of my thoughts on these headphones. Honestly, I've never really reviewed a set of these guys before, but let me know what you guys think if you guys have a pair of these. And if you don't, if you have any questions that I didn't address in this video, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And I will see you guys in future videos. So long.